Coming up on Double Take Sports Talk, we will update you with headlines and news, matchups to start off the week in the NBA. That is next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. Darrell, on the opposite side, say hello to dinner with everybody.
Hello, welcome to the show. We're here.
We're here. All right, man. You doing good, man? How you feeling?
Doing good, man.
Okay, man. We got some things that we need to cover here this week in the NBA. Man, you ready to rock this one?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it.
All right. Tuesday, March 14th, 2017. Last night's games, there was a total of 5 games. We will start with the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland wins this game with the final score of 128-96. The Cavs started 23 for 26 shooting from the floor and finished 60% from the floor. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Brooklyn Nets. Thunder wins this game with the final score of 122-104. Russell Westbrook, 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 19 assists. The Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. The Knicks wins this game with the final score of 87-81. The Knicks defense limited the Pacers to 29 points in the second half, and we will get to more in this game in just a moment. The Portland Trail Blazers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans wins this game with the final score of 170. The Pelicans holds the Blazers to 30% shooting from the floor. And in the last game of the night, the Philadelphia 76ers and the Golden State Warriors. Golden State wins this game in a close one, 106-104. The Warriors erased a 16-point deficit with 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Them are your final scores and key stats.
All right. There you have it, the final scores and stats from last night's games. Good work, Darren. Now we could go ahead to the portion of analysis for last night's games of the Pacers and the Knicks. Darren, what went wrong in that game?
All right, let's take a look at see what went wrong in this game. There's a couple things that I'm going to emphasize here. Here we go. I want to highlight a couple things. Oops. All right, the first thing I wanted to emphasize, well, this is not something I actually want to emphasize. This is something that went wrong.
Right. There it is. All that. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throws.
It all went wrong.
You cannot get that. You cannot win games if you've got that kind of numbers.
At this point, it don't even matter about this.
No, I agree. Well, it did for New York.
It did for them. And the reason why it mattered because they was on a hot streak. They came back from 13 down to be able to come back and win this game. All because the Pacers decided that they wanted to jack around, put this down, and then when they had a chance for free points, they definitely put that down. It's not going to win you games.
No, it's not going to win you games.
It's not going to win you games. We said the Pacers were going to win this game. I believe that they were going to win this game because New York was in a slump. They wasn't, working in team chemistry. They came out and proved us wrong.
Yes, they did.
They came out and proved us wrong. I didn't like that. That kind of, really bothered me. Because like I said, they came from 13 down. So when you look at that in the second half, the Pacers won both quarters, first and the second. So they managed to have a lead there in the first quarter. So they had a lead going into halftime. But then right after that, this is where the problem come in. Knickerbockers are known for their defense. Allowed them only 29 points in the second half.
You mentioned it on the final score stats.
Yep.
Only limited to 29 points. That would not get you win games in the second half.
Nope.
And like I always mentioned there, when it comes down to the Pacers, you have to close out games.
And that was the next point.
Regardless of anything, you have to close out games. I preach that all the time. That has always been the Pacers' problem. They cannot finish these games.
Yeah,
they have to.
Pacers had that problem. I'm gonna tell you another team that just experienced that problem the other night. This team right here, they experienced this problem the other night. Inability to close out games.
Yep.
Inability to close out games.
Well, granted, they did win the first matchup against them, though.
Right.
They did do that.
But they did not. They didn't close out the game.
They did not
close out the game. So this is what happens when the Knicks got on that roll. They were able to shoot better from the field and get to the free throw line. Pacers started getting worn out. So that's your biggest problem on that behalf. And that just kind of was just like a very disappointing loss for the Pacers, because that could have put them up. That could have put them up 2 games, and retain a 6th spot. And then the one last thing that I wanted to emphasize on, it's been a minute since I've done this, but I'm actually going to give this a shot and see what happens. Excuse me. About that. Second thing I want to show is this. I talked about this in yesterday's podcast, and I talked about their second chance points. Now, this is a line graph that I did containing the Pacers and the Knicks' second chance points for each quarter. Now, this one right here, my marker's not going to work for this, but this here, the 1-for-1 for 6 points, the 1-for-1 came from the field. The other 4 points either came from the free throw line. It had to come from from the free throw line. It had to come from the free throw line. The Carmelo Anthony went to the line 5 times. But the whole point of it all, here's the Knicks. This is the Knicks in orange, and this is the Pacers in orange. Look what happens in the first quarter.
Blue.
I'm sorry, Pacers in blue, Knicks in orange. I thought I put it as Pacers in yellow. I don't know what I did, but that's what I said. It's been a minute since I've done this. Knicks in orange, Pacers in blue. Taking a look at this, points. Look what happens. Knicks didn't get any second chance points in the first quarter. Pacers had 2. Second quarter, Pacers had 2. Knicks had 6.
Wow.
They capitalized more off of these second chance points that the Pacers did not do, which is why they closed the deficit going into halftime. And then look what happens in the third quarter. They both scored 2 points off second chance points. And then look what happens in the fourth quarter. They both scored 6 points.
By then, it's too late.
It's too late.
They
had already had that run. They already had the free throws. They had everything. So I said it. My problem was offensive rebounds and being able to get those second chance points off of offensive rebounds. That was my whole point. And this right here, in my personal opinion, is what helped the Pacers lose this game. This second chance points. That's what helped lose it for them.
I got something else that I want to add to that, Darren. Granted, yes, second chance points, good point. That is one thing. Here's another thing that I felt that that the Pacers also failed to do in the reason why they lost the game too. Ball movement.
Too many bad passes. What was the turnovers? 16. Knicks only had 14.
Turnovers. Yeah. They need to distribute the ball more better, in my personal opinion, if they want to actually win more games. And the stat here from one of it was the Pacers had assisted 20 times in 10 consecutive games. But over the past 3 games, they have not broken that 20 times. And they dropped 2 of the 3 matchups when they do not ditch out 20 times.
They need to move the ball more.
Yes,
They
they do.
have to move the ball more.
They do.
They had a total of 16 assists last night, and the Knicks had 21.
See, assists can win you games.
Oh, yeah.
Most importantly, those second chance points is what hurt them.
Oh, yeah.
Allowing too many offensive boards, and they scored and capitalized off of them. And that's not good if they want to actually win these games.
And I think they had more fast break points.
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
I didn't look
I'm pretty
at
sure
it.
they did.
I didn't look at that because I wanted to make the emphasis of second chance points off of their offensive rebounds for the Knicks because, like I said, they were third in the league in second chance points.
Right.
So that kind of, hurt the Pacers. They stayed strong in the first half, but as soon as they let it slip, Knicks capitalized off of it.
They capitalized off of it.
And then, but to me, it's really no excuse for that loss.
I agree, dude. I agree. They had a good, strong beginning of the game. They held on, but then second half they just collapsed. That's no excuse.
Yeah. Agreed.
So as we stay on the Pacers, we're going to go ahead and preview tonight's game against the Charlotte Hornets. Pacers and Hornets. 7 o'clock tip-off. They're coming back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, downtown Indianapolis. This is going to be aired locally, Fox Sports Indiana. Charlotte?
It is Fox Sports Southeast for Charlotte.
All right. There you go. There's your locals. Taking a look at the Pacers and the Hornets, of course. Both teams are coming off losses. Hornets came off a loss, and the Pacers also came off a loss. So, the Pacers, this is a must-win for this team. A must-win. Because if Charlotte actually comes back, if they win this game tonight, then not only do they win the season series, but they will own them when it comes down to a tiebreaker if they actually get back into the playoff seeds. They was to come back into the playoff seeds, Charlotte could own them based off of if it happens to come into a tie situation, they will actually own them by conference record.
Yep.
And I believe Charlotte will have a better Eastern Conference record versus the Pacers. Last night just proved that, but I'm not afraid to get into all that. We already did. So keep it in mind, this is a must-win for Pacers. They need to actually step their game up tonight if they want to win. If they want to win, they need to step it up. This is a must-win for the Pacers. All right. Of course, last matchup, last meeting was just, a week or two ago, March 6th, 2017. Paul George had a good night, but the Hornets just outdid the Pacers. They defeated them 188 at the Spectrum Center. Paul George finished with 36 points. Nicholas Batum and Kemba Walker, they just could not get their game going with Paul George, and especially the way that he was playing. They had a 17-point advantage all the way up through the second quarter, and that's the kind of energy that they always had in the first half. But the second half, it just seemed like it just goes out the toilet. So that is a big ordeal. Oh, Kemba Walker and Nicholas Batum, they combined for 49 points.
So pretty much 28 points.
Yep. That's it.
Seems fair.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the projected starters for tonight's games. For the Hornets, you got Kemba Walker, Jeremy Lamb, 1 and 2, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, the 3, Marvin Williams, and Cody Zeller as the 4 and 5. For the Pacers, you got Jeff Teague and Paul George as the 1 and 2, CJ Miles as the 3, Thaddeus Young and Miles Turner as your 4 and 5. Injuries to report. Lavoy Allen, he is questionable with a sore left knee. Doubt he'll play, but he'll probably see limited minutes if that's the case. But I don't think he's playing. Sore left knee ain't no joke. And the Hornets, that would to be determined. So this recording will be long done by then. But we'll keep an eye on all that.
Who was it? I didn't even hear it.
To be determined.
Oh.
I was saying the report will be long done by then, before that they actually even announce. So pretty much it'll be a game time decision
For anybody that's on the
anybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They got some injuries, but they're just gonna be game time decisions. They should have put it on there, but okay. A couple of things to note. Pacers center Al Jefferson spent 3 seasons with the Hornets, of course, from 2013 to 2016. He averaged 17.5 points and 8.9 rebounds. Pacers head coach Nate McMillan and Hornets guard Nicholas Batum was together in Portland from 2008 to 2012. The Pacers lead the all-time series 61-41, including a 40-12 edge in Indiana. Wednesday's game will have tiebreaker implications, that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. If the Hornets win, they will take the season series 3-1. If the Pacers win, it will go to the next applicable tiebreaker in the event the teams finish with the same record. So they will, if the Pacers do win, the series will be tied 2-2. And so it would be the conference record that they'll determine the next tiebreaker will be the conference record. All right, before we get to the predictions, time for the analysis. Darren, what do the Pacers got to do to win this game tonight?
Get down on their knees and pray for one thing.
Yeah, you got that right.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then based on the statistical standpoint, this is what they really need to do also to help themselves win this game tonight. One thing I'm just going to point out, everything else really do not matter at this point. Keep them off the free throw line. Keep them off the free throw line. Keep them off the three-point line. If you're going to beat Charlotte, beat them. Larry Bird, one of the fast team, implement it. Wear them down. Period. That's all there is to it. Larry Bird, you designed and wanted a fast team. You better implement it tonight since you are the head coach of the team. Implement it.
Right on, Pimp.
Implement it. You cannot let them beat you for the free throw line and the three-point line. You cannot let them do that. Rebounds in this point do not matter. They need to stay off the free throw line and they need to stay off that arc. They need to come in and be able to play physical basketball without having to create contact like that. They're going to have to, because if they keep fouling Charlotte, last game, Charlotte shot 90% from the free throw line. That's not going to win you the game. Keep them fools off the line. That's all there is to it. Keep them off the line.
Here's my thing. You're exactly right, but here's my thing about this. Here's my thing. One important thing that the Pacers need that they're going to win and have control in the second half. Since Nate McMillan is getting free money, the best thing I think it'd be best for the Pacers is to force turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
They need to force Charlotte into some bad situations.
They really do, especially Kemba Walker. They have to force him in bad situations.
Pacers, Pacers have committed 14 turnovers so far this season. Charlotte has committed 11, which you say is pretty much 12, rounded up. They need to commit some turnovers. Big time. They need to get them into very bad situations.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they can't do that, like I said, Nate McMillan, you're just there to get free money, dude.
Yeah.
All you got to do is pump the team up.
Yes, you really do.
Force them into bad situations. That's just how I see that.
Just force them into bad situations.
Yeah, that's how I see that. Okay. With that being said, once again, Pacers, Hornets, 7 o'clock tip-off. Locally, Fox Sports Indiana, and Charlotte, it is Fox Sports Southeast.
That is correct.
All right.
Fox Sports Southeast, yep.
All right. Darren, get down on your knees and pray. That pretty much sums it up for me. Who you got for this game?
Charlotte.
There you go. I'm with you.
Charlotte.
I'm with you. Charlotte's going to take this series 3-1, and they are going to own the Pacers if they actually get back into the playoff run again.
Mm-hmm.
So I do got the Pacers in this, not the Pacers, the Hornets in this game also.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers just need to get down on their knees and pray.
Mm-hmm. Yep. and pray that Larry Bird could be able to be vice president of basketball operations like he's supposed to be and not a coach. But, it's whatever. It's whatever. I'm trying not to go into the gist of it. I'm just trying to make the simple point that if you're going to be your title, be it and not other things that you design yourself to call yourself to be. I'm really trying not to get into that. I'm really not.
Nah, hold on. Let me just say this. You call yourself not the coach type person. You signed a 3-year deal back in the 90s to coach the Pacers, and you said you're only doing it for 3 years and you're gone. So now that you came back,
you pretty much just re-implemented yourself back in.
There you go.
Because not being funny, when you think about it, Darrell, back in the 90s when he did that 3-year deal, man wasn't even coaching then. Dick Carter did the offense, Rick Carlisle did the defense, and Larry Bird was just there to motivate him.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, he really didn't coach him then. Now he wants to coach him. Make up your mind. You got your priorities kind of, twisted.
Yeah, you sure do. Yeah, I agree.
Excuse me, not the priorities. His vocabulary twisted.
Yeah, he got him pretty twisted. So
yeah.
I don't know what.
Phil Jackson's the same way.
Yeah,
Phil Jackson's the same way. He got to stop that too.
He's trying to still implement the triangular what? Defense, offense.
Offense.
Why?
Exactly.
Stop it. You're not a coach, man.
Let Jeff Hornacek handle it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Let Jeff Hornacek handle that.
Let him do the thing.
If not, then you need to go on and just fire him, and you just be the head coach.
You
Same thing with Larry Bird.
And look, and Jeff Hornacek was with one of the best teams in the West, the Utah Jazz.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day.
So they was the best in the West, man. Let him do his thing.
Yeah, he might be able to do better than you.
You know what I'm saying? 2 finals appearances.
But here's the thing: with Phil Jackson, with Jeff Hornacek, who you think that faced off 90% of the time?
Yeah, the Bulls and the Jazz,
and that was Phil Jackson's team. Yeah. So he probably think that he has an outer edge. I'm sitting here thinking, there's your ego.
There it is. It just went.
There's your ego.
I know. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we done previewed and took a look at some analysis and predicted the games from our opinion standpoint.
And went off track and started talking about coaching again.
We sure did, but that's okay though. Sometimes you need that little split, but that's okay though.
Yeah.
So now we done did all that. Now we're going to take a look at some headlines from the NBA, NFL, and MLB. I'm going to kick this one off with the NBA standpoint. A report came out. Lakers are shutting down veterans Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng. Apparently,
they mean shutting them down.
Apparently, they are out for the rest of the season, probably due to injuries.
Oh, okay.
Porzingis, he has a left thigh bruise, so it's nothing serious. So, and the Warriors that we actually followed, me and Jerry, we followed this yesterday. Former Portland Trailblazer guard Cliff Robinson, he was admitted to the hospital, and it was being discovered that he had a small brain hemorrhage, and he had surgery, and now he is recovering. So keep him in mind also. Prayers too. The Cavaliers are anticipating Kevin Love's return during the road trip. During their road trip, they expect him to come back. And one of the things that I wanted to note, there was something else in here that I wanted to note. Oh, when you did the final scores and stats and you did the Pelicans and the Trailblazers, of course, Anthony Davis, he had 15 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Boogie, 22 points, 9 boards. So I just wanted to throw it out there that DeMarcus Cousins did play an X factor in that win, in a blowout.
Fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. And they also playing point guard center. So
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be pretty this gonna look nasty.
Hey man, you You heard James the other day, just this past weekend. You heard what he said. I don't know if you was on when he said it. That's not good. That's bullying.
No.
That's
that is
bullying.
bullying.
How you put DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis on the same team? That's just not healthy, man. That's bullying for all of the NBA, and that's starting to prove it.
It is. It is. It's starting to prove it. They up there clowning.
Oh yeah,
They're clowning.
Oh yeah.
And one of the other things also I want to touch up real quick was that of course Russell Westbrook, he had his triple double, and that was his 33rd of the year. Brooklyn fans gave him an ovation.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking, but not surprising. The man has accomplished what he needed to accomplish.
Yes.
So just keeping that in mind also. All right. Let's shift gears.
Before you even shift gears, when you was talking about when you was talking about Timothy Moxcroft and Lil Dang, and they because of injuries.
What happened?
They just sent him out for the rest of the season. No unknown reason or anything like that. They just been shut down for the rest of the season.
Something ain't right with that.
Yeah, they just shut him down for the rest of the season.
Okay. Something ain't right about it, but
agreed.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's shift gears real quick. We're going to take a look at the NFL headlines. Firstly, former Browns offensive line guard Jonathan Cooper, he is with the Dallas Cowboys now. DeMarcus Ware, no question, I could have played 2 or 3 more years. That is crockabull. You could have played 5 more years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to get into that.
Yeah.
Dante Hightower, he is going to likely decide between the Jets, Patriots, and Steelers. According to Ian Rappaport, it is a strong likelihood that he will decide to return back to New England. But we'll see. We will keep an eye on that. Follow us on social media for
that. Would be interesting if he actually went to Pittsburgh. That would be very interesting.
Le'Veon Bell and D'Angelo Williams. Ugh. That would not be good.
Yeah. That would be interesting, but that won't happen.
It won't happen. I think it's like what Rappaport said, that he'll probably be back in
New England. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where all the cheaters are at. That's where all the titles are at. So why not?
Very true.
So.
Yeah.
Of course, as we mentioned, I think we mentioned it on yesterday's show. Maybe not. Eddie Lacy, he has landed a 1-year deal with the Seattle Seahawks. So now the big thing is going to be how the Packers are going to handle without Eddie Lacy in Green Bay and what they're going to do in the draft. So that's going to be very interesting on how the Packers –
That's their first priority, is to get a running back. They have to get
a running back.
They have to get a running back. That would be their first priority. In my personal opinion, that's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to get one.
I agree there. I agree. And also, Pete Carroll had responded to Eddie Lacy saying that he wants him big.
We had to debate about that.
We had a heated debate about it.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay suggested that he should lose weight. And now
But that wasn't even the whole ordeal, even at that point in time. That was false reports. That they wanted him to lose weight or gain weight. That was false reports.
Well, it was false reports, but it was obvious that Eddie Lacy lost the weight for a reason, and that was to, try to
make himself quicker.
Yeah, make himself quicker, stay healthy. But I've always believed that he was better as a bigger guy. Well, even though that he has conflicted injuries, that plays a big factor into it.
Mm-hmm. And now that he's going to Seattle, they're used to that bigger running back, and that fits their philosophy now with Marshawn Lynch. So, yeah, it probably is the best decision to go ahead and go back big.
Yeah.
That's what I believe that, I believe it.
Yep. I agree too, there. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins, he is now diminishing reports that he had demanded a trade.
So he's denying it.
Yes. He has never he has never demanded a trade, I should say. So, Jarvis Jones, sorry.
No, I would say very interesting.
Yeah. Jarvis Jones, he signs a deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, he signs it. I didn't get into the detail of what the contract or anything like that was, but yeah, just keeping that in mind. That is a scoop in the NFL headlines. Let's take a brief, quick look at the MLB.
Which is really nothing.
Which is really nothing. Just the World Baseball Classic is still coming up. Japan's still kicking behind. So look like Japan's going to probably take this one all the way, but we'll see how that plays out because some Japan players can play. Scoreboard, meanwhile, St. Louis is battling today. They are playing the Twins. That's going to be a 1-0-5 pitch off. And the Cubs are playing tonight also. That they're playing the Diamondbacks. That will be a 10-0-5 pitch off.
Really?
Late.
Oh, that's a late game? Oh, I thought it was in the morning.
Nope. 10:05 p.m.
Okay.
It's a late game. That's the last game on the docket for the day. It will be the Cubs and the Diamondbacks.
Oh, time. Forgot about that.
Yes.
So technically it would be a 7-0-5
for us. No.
For Arizona.
Yeah. 7-0-5 for Arizona. Yeah.
Wait. Where are they at? Where's spring training at?
Well,
I thought it was in Arizona.
Arizona or Los Angeles. No, that's a World Baseball Classic. Sorry.
It has to be in Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona, I think it is.
Yep.
They changed it.
Yep.
They changed it.
Last I known it was there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That is the headlines for the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Final portion of our show. Final thoughts. There, you got anything?
Oh, absolutely not.
Boy, you about made me jump there for a minute because you sounded very positive and you had something to say.
No. None at all.
Okay, I ain't got none either, so we can go ahead and wrap this baby up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. If you like what you see, give the video a thumbs up. How you feel about today's show? Anything else that you just want to add, you can just comment on the comment section below. We're always here as usual. But until then, I'm Darrell. Darrell's on the opposite side.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao. Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Darrell Watts. As many of you know, me and Darren enjoy talking sports and giving out stats, but we also enjoy entertaining while doing it. So with that being said, you can check us out on the social media side and get more involved in our podcast. We're on Twitter at DTST2414, or you like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. We're also on YouTube. Like, share, do what you got to do with that. Once again, we don't mind. Also, we are finally back on the podcast app for audio-only purposes for those who enjoy audio-only of our podcast. We're also on the blog, feature critical thinking and analysis, and you can check that out at doubletakesportstalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.